MI5 should hand over, that they're actually subject to the Data Protection Act.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about this in relation to MI5 and how that relates to that culture of secrecy?
You have to realise that when a personal file is handed over, there is already built into that a great deal of protection for all the other leads where that goes to. For example, in his personnel file, he will find just a whole string of numbers, which are the identity numbers of other people, i.e. the identities of other people are in no way compromised. So there is, in fact, nothing dangerous about handing over his file.
So Norman had won his case, but hadn't received his file. Since he thought MI5 were in contempt of court, we went along to their offices to see if we could shift them a bit. There's no bell. Is there a bell? Hiya.
I suspect you're about to be evicted.
All right.
Yeah, can I ask you, please, do not film any people in the foyer here, please.
That's fine.
Do not, absolutely, do not film any people.
That's fine. Can I just...
Do you have official business?
This is, yeah, we do. This is Mr. Baker, MP.
Yes. You have an appointment.
I've come to make an appointment.
You've come to make an appointment?
Yes.
One moment.
You have to turn it off when someone comes down.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, certainly.
Thank you very much indeed. Needless to say, Norman Baker MP still hasn't seen his file. This is a lovely little document, the Southwark Council's list of statutory information to which the public is entitled. There's loads of stuff that you're actually allowed to see that you have a right to find out about, from where the hazardous waste or radioactive materials is stored and licensed in your area, to personal files that social services have, to unregistered land, to also to the register of interest for your council elected members. But there's also a rather lovely thing here, and this booklet, by the way, is so good that we're actually going to put it on the internet, because all this applies not just to Southwark but to everyone's council. There's a lovely thing here, the Local Government Finance Act 1982, Section 17. What it means is any member of the public for 2 weeks of the year is allowed into the council offices and can get any receipts and paperwork about their accounts for that year. You can ask to see for the councillors' receipts for all their expenses. You can ask to see the expenses for any developments done in the area, for conferences, for anything. And they have to give it to you. Not only do they have to give it to you, they have to let you copy it and go away. And then at the end of the 2 weeks where you're allowed in to have a look at things, if you found something that's gone astray, you can go and visit the auditor, who will be at the council, and you've got a right to talk to them and tell them what's been going on. Now, this, obviously, there are some councils which are slightly more open than others. We found a couple down in Wales called the Frankhams, Mr and Mrs Frankham, and they actually found that their council, Ebbw Vale, weren't quite as open as Southwark, and they actually found that they weren't actually quite as clean as they should be.
Fighting the council is worse than fighting anything. The laws these people got to protect them is unbelievable.
Glenys and Colin used the Local Government Finance Act to inspect council financial records. Their 3-year campaign resulted in the conviction of 12 Blanagwent councillors for falsifying their expenses.
One councillor, they had an election in between the time that he was charged to the time he went to court. And he was going around telling the people in his area, you know me, honest as the day is long. I won't let you down, you know me. As soon as he got back in and went to court, he pleaded guilty as charged. But if there's nothing to hide you, when you just...
But you've got like an ex-mayor.
And the deputy mayor.
And the deputy mayor, and they're all doing community service.
And the leader of the council. And the leader of the council. We've done it because we knew that we was right.
Oh, yeah.
So this law, basically, the important point here, though, is that anyone can use it, and it applies to all local governments.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is incredible, because now the precedent you've set, you've actually shown that ordinary people can go into the council offices and say, I demand the right to inspect all of your accounts, and I want to know exactly what you've done with my money.
Yes.
I'm standing outside Balfour Beatty's head office, and it's because I am a shareholder in Balfour Beatty. I have a share. In fact, if you buy a share, they're running at £1.72 today. That's how much it would cost to buy a share. Under company law, if you're a shareholder, they have to let you in. And they have to let you in to inspect the minutes of the annual general meeting and the directors' service contracts. This means you get a right to go in there and see what directors earn what for doing what, which is great fun. And for £1.72, you can't go wrong with it. What I was fun enough about is, as a shareholder, I would like to come and inspect the directors' service contracts and minutes for the last 2 AGMs. Yeah, it's just that we want to get in today, just because it says in the Companies Act it should be open for business for inspection on each day. We'd really like to do it today. Right, made me appointment, £1.72's worth. I'm going to go in and have a look at the directors' contract, see how much they earn. See you in a bit. Oh, you're allowed to copy down all the stuff that they earn as well. Viscount Weir, the chairman of Balfour Beatty, works up to 50% of his time for £150,000 a year, payable monthly plus expenses. The minutes of the annual general meetings were really quite boring, but we found out something when we were inside. I wasn't aware, this is the great thing that we just found out, is what you can do is any publicly listed company under the Financial Services Act of this year has to actually let people in. You don't have to be a shareholder. You can come in and inspect it, because if you want to buy shares in a company, it's reasonable that you should be able to inspect the director's contracts to see what it's about. So, in fact, any company that's publicly listed, have you got a copy of the FT there? We could go through any publicly listed company and actually go through it and say, we can visit this company and demand to see them. I've got an idea. I think everyone's... Do you realise what this means? This means from now on in, there are no demonstrations, there are just inspections of directors' contracts.
Bet you didn't know that 70% of Britain is still owned by less than 1% of the population. But if you need to find out who owns what, then don't bother coming here, to Her Majesty's Land Registry for England and Wales. In Scotland, if you need to find out who owns what, then you can just search under a list of names. But that's not the case here at the Land Registry. Besides, between 30 and 50% of land in England and Wales isn't even registered. So, follow my tip, let's write to the Land Registry and get them to change the rules. And here's the address.
Here's a top tip now if you're worried about an impending hostile attack or invasion on Britain. Keep your radio and TV on at all times. This is because the BBC and the government have invested close to £3.5 million in a new national attack warning system. This system is going to replace all the air raid sirens, etc. they used during the Second World War. There's a new BBC centre set up to control all the warnings. There's protected transmitters that are going to work even after an attack. And the BBC have even got a new special duties manager who's located in the building behind us here to run the show.
Here's a tip if you travel by London Underground and you hear this automated announcement.
Would Inspector Stands please go to the operations room immediately?
This means there is a serious problem on the station, and the station may need to be evacuated without causing a panic. So please keep your ears open for further announcements.
Of course, in my case, the opportunities for ridicule are enormous. I enjoy buildings, at least some of them, at any rate, and I enjoy looking at them.
After casually flicking through this, which is the Duchy of Cornwall's accounts, you come across a little statement here which mentions the fact that he actually owns a hotel in Reading. And so I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. What would Prince Charles be doing with a hotel in Reading? After all, this is the man who actually proudly boasts about how beautiful architecture should be and how carbuncles are springing up all over the place and all of that. We thought hotels in Reading, it's got to be something in the sort of mode of Gaudi or Wren or someone like that. So we went to the Land Registry and had a look around and we said, oh, can we have a look at some of the hotels in Reading? They pulled up this. And yeah, Prince Charles owns